Hey everybody, it's me and it's time for Frankly Speaking. It's been a while since I've been on here. I've had a cold and had some other health things going on, which has prevented me from doing a quality video. I don't want to be sniffing and sneezing and coughing and all that stuff. But today's video is very important. It's a public service announcement about bank fraud. That's right. There's some new activity going on in the world of fraudsters that I need to make you aware of. So stick around, and you'll want to stick around to know how to handle things if you encounter this yourself. So hang in there, and the show begins right now. Hey everybody, Frank Elliott here, and it's time for Frankly Speaking. As I said in the intro, we're talking about fraud. When people are trying to defraud you out of your hard-earned money, it's getting more and more challenging. These con artists are coming up with new and exciting, creative ways to take your money. Just tonight, I had one call me, probably 10 or 11 missed calls. Had just gone into the bathroom. They just kept calling and calling and calling and calling and calling. Well, I finally picked up, wondering what in the world is the emergency, and he said he was from my bank. He not only said he was from my bank, but he gave me my social security number he gave it to me. He gave me my birth date, my address, and my phone number. And then he proceeded to tell me that there was some fraudulent activity on my debit card, and it was um, locked up, locked off until they could verify the charges. He claimed that there was an ATM charge in Atlanta, Georgia, or somewhere in Georgia on my card. And I said, okay, well, I have multiple accounts with the bank. Which account are we talking about? I knew it was a fraud because he gave me the information about me. This is all stuff that you can find online. You can find people's social security numbers. You can find their birth dates, their addresses, their phone numbers, all that stuff. They can buy it on the black web, the dark web. They can buy it on blacklists and so on and so forth. So I played into him a little bit to see where he was going to go with it. So he proceeded then to give me the first four digits and then the next two. So the first six digits of my ATM card. And I said, well, I have three cards to begin like that. All you're giving me is location information. You're not giving me account information at all. And he goes, well, I can't give you that. I said, well, you need to tell me the last four digits of the card you're talking about because I don't know who you are. And if you have that information, then my next step is going to be to hang up and call customer service to find out if this is true. He goes, well, it's true. I just verified all your information. And I said, yeah, but you're not giving me the last four digits of the card number that you're talking about. And I proceeded to say, you're also not giving me the bank account number that it's attached to, the last four digits. He says, well, you have to give me that. In fact, he says, you need to complete the card number in order for me to verify that that's the card, and that's why we're calling. I said, no, you don't. You don't call for that information. So here's what they were doing. They were calling to try to fish the information out of me, to tell me that I had fraud on my card. They gave me the first eight numbers by the time it was all said and done with, which are the same on all the cards for my branch. Um, and then were wanting me to give them the last eight, which means that they would have access to my full account, my full card number. So, and what they're doing is once they have the information, they make a fake magnetic strip. They put it on the back of a prepaid card that they probably stole or bought for $1. And then they go to the ATM and they try to get the money, or they send it to themselves via, some kind of service that they pay for online, Vivo or not Vivo, Venmo. Yeah, I'll get there. It's late. It's been a long day. Venmo or PayPal or something. They'll get the money from you. So I didn't buy into it, and I said, nah. I'm not going to give you that information. He says, well, then I can't verify the information. I said, that's right, because you don't have the information. You're not from my bank. I said, number one, it's not the same phone number. It's not the customer service number. It's not the fraud protection number. I know that. It's programmed into my phone because it's happened before. I said, you did not identify yourself right away. You started asking questions from me without identifying who you were and what department and all that sort of thing. And you bombarded my phone with calls. There's no text from fraud alert. I have no alert on my text, on my email that I have a fraud alert on my account. So you are fraudulent yourself. I said, you're never going to call this number again. If you ever call this number again, I'm going to go beyond reporting you to the bank. I'm going to report you to the law. You are being hereby notified to cease and desist. And long story short, he got real quiet and he goes, well, good luck with this situation. I mean, your card's locked down. You're not going to be able to use it. And I said, well, I'll address that with the branch when I'm back home tomorrow. And so he was trying to get money off of me. So be very careful. First off, your bank is never going to give you the card information. You have to give them, and they're going to verify you, verify who you are in a multitude of ways. If you're ever in doubt, tell them, excuse me, I'll have to call you right back. Hang up the phone, call the number on the back of the card. Then you know you're talking to somebody from your bank. And then that person will ask you questions to verify who you are. Name, last four of the social, not the whole social. This guy gave me my whole social. That's how scary this is. They'll ask you for your birth date. They'll ask you for your street address. They'll ask you for your phone number, and then they will email you, whatever email account you have on file, a code that you have to tell them on the phone to verify who you are. So that's my bank, and that's, I'm not going to tell you which bank that is, but you can talk to your branch and find out what their policies are. It's best to get the notifications, because then you can prove whether it's them or not. I had no notification, so I knew right away. The first thing I did was look at text and look at email. And the guy was on the phone, and I knew he was not. And it didn't come up with my bank name on the caller ID. It was just an 800 number that I didn't recognize. So, excuse me, make sure that you do your homework and make sure you know exactly what your bank will do in case of they suspect fraud. And sometimes that happens. It's never easy because they're going to lock your card down. You have to get a new card and all that stuff. So anyway, I hope this helps. I hope you are safe from this kind of nonsense. But beware, especially if it's on the phone. Don't just start giving them information. Don't say certain keywords in agreement to what they're saying, because once they get that on recording, they can charge you. So they can send you a bill even. And they can prove that you agreed to it, because they're going to say a bunch of stuff and put your agreement in there. So today's sponsor is actually going to be Elite Structures in Chillicothe. If you're looking for a shed or a pole barn kind of building, a small building to put in your backyard, or your front yard or your side yard or whatever. You need it for storage, you need it for a workshop or whatever it is. Need it for a little guest house or a bathhouse or whatever the case may be. Go see them up on Pleasant Valley Road and see Bria or Devon there, and they'll take good care of you. I have a building from them, and I think it's well built, and they took really good care of me on the delivery, and good people. So go ahead, reach out to them. Pleasant Valley Road, right next to the Railroad Express gas station at Pleasant Valley and Veterans Highway and Clinton Road. So that kind of intersection area. So go see them, get your building today. And as I always say, be happy, be healthy, be safe, and get out of here already. See you next time.